Hello, happy Saturday. I hope everyone's having a happy and safe Easter weekend. Thank you so much for joining me on the Warrenton Live. My name is Crystal. Today, I have a return guest already. During the last interview, some of you had mentioned that you wanted to see the artwork from Rashaun Rucker, who is an acclaimed artist. He has Warrenton, North Carolina roots. And so his latest collection, Up from the Red Clay, depicts those Warrenton, North Carolina roots. And so today, he's going to show us selected artwork. I know a lot of you are asking for it, so here you go. Thank you so much for doing this, Rashawn.
Thank you. I'm happy to do it. Happy to do it for everybody out there. And we're at in Contemporary Gallery in Ferndale, which is my home base for my work. And we're in the gallery, and I look forward to showing you guys some of the work in the show Up from the Red Clay.
Okay, and so I'm just going to let you take it from here, okay?
No problem.
All right.
I gotta switch my camera view for you guys. Awesome. So I will do a quick pan, and then we'll kind of go around and talk about some of the selected work. You'll see Melanie, who's the director of Contemporary Gallery, sitting in the middle. And so, yes, this is a quick pan of the show. Uh, we'll start on this piece, which is called After the Repass. And it's actually a print of my father, Thomas Park, who's a resident of Warrenton, and my uncle, his brother, Burgess Park. And this was taken from a scene of them behind New Bethel Baptist Church after my granddad's funeral. This next piece is I Knew It Was the Blood, and this was just talks about me seeing baptismal scenes growing up and in Warrenton and some in streams and creeks and having that experience as a young child. It's bright outside today, so we got a little reflection going on, but wanting to show you some of it. This is a series of monotypes, which is a type of printmaking where you paint on glass and pull the paint or the ink up from paper and it was hung kind of like to be a photo scrapbook. So some of the pieces you see in here is my uncle, and it's called Cool Uncle June, and he's my grandmother's oldest sibling, and he was born and raised in Warrenton, North Carolina, and lived most of his life in Hampton Roads, Virginia area. One of the pieces you'll see is called First and Third, and this was based on going to church with my family in Warrenton, and they would go to church on the first and third Sundays because they shared a preacher with another church who would have second and fourth. You'll see my grandfather, who we call Papa, and this piece is called Papa Chuck. There's a piece of me and my oldest son when he was a baby. One of the pieces here is called Promise, and this was my dad's graduation from high school in Warrenton. Probably one of my favorite pieces is this piece called The Ghost of New Bethel. And it talks about basically just going to New Bethel Baptist Church with my great grandmother, my big mom. That was her home church in Warrenton, and it was kind of the first place I saw people catch the Holy Ghost or the Spirit, and so that's why it's called The Ghost of New Bethel. And it's using the classic Martin Luther King Church fan in reference to the piece. Another one of my favorite pieces is called Black Love at the County Fair. And this is my dad's parents, my grandparents at the Warren County Fair when they were teenagers. and they're seated in front of a really tiny kind of painted photo backdrop. The largest piece in this show is called The Tapestry of My Soul, and it is 6 feet, and it's a carving that's made to be a patchwork quilt. So you'll see 3 generations of people from Warren County and Warrenton. My father, my grandmother, his mother, then my great grandfather is also in the piece. You'll see a cardinal represented for the state bird, references to communion in church. Some of the squares that I would see women making their quilts, and my grandmother make little squares. Representation of my Uncle Doc's shotgun house on Baltimore Road. And this piece will end up at Wake Forest University as part of their permanent collection. Burdens Down is another piece. This is based on my great Uncle John, a photo of him, I think from 1949. He had a house on Baltimore Road, and it was just a picture of him sitting out in front of his house. But in this particular print, you don't see the house, it's just him seated by himself. This was an homage to my grandfather, who was from Parktown, and this was him in the Korean War, where he served as a medic. And you can see some of the textures in the carving. There are 2 large drawings in the show. This is one of them called The Weight of It All, and it's me as a child. This next piece is called The Coronation, and this was at a family reunion that we had in Warrenton at my grandmother's house off 1001, and it's actually my great aunt B, who was also celebrating her birthday at the same time. And so you see family members pinning money onto her. Probably one of my favorite pieces is this large drawing of my great grandparents, Morris and Sally Wiggins, who lived on Baltimore Road. And it's called Before the Throne, and it's titled that way because I think everybody in our family looks at them as royalty and never wanted to disappoint them. And so this picture where they were seated on this couch in the early 80s kind of mimicked the throne to me and coming before wisdom. And so that's what you see. And like I said, it's my great grandparents, great grandmother Sally Wiggins, who we call Big Mom, and my great grandfather Morris Wiggins. So it's a close to a 5-foot drawing. The procession is the last and beginning piece in it, and I was a pallbearer at all 3 of my grandfather's funerals, and this is the representation of one where I'm probably 19 or 20 at this point. And the beginning of the show is an excerpt from one of my dad's poems called Countrified. So you see that poem that leads you into the entire show. And there's a little small piece over here called Firstborn Son, which is a monotype of my mom, me as a baby, and my father. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys in Warrenton and Warren County area a quick look of Up from the Red Clay and the show and give you an experience to be able to see a little bit of it, even though you're not here in the Metro Detroit area. But I wanted to give you a view of all the work that was inspired by Warren County and North Carolina in general.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate this.
Thank you. I'm glad people will be able to see it. I wanted to pop in here and like be able to show them what North Carolina and Warrenton inspired from me for this body of work.
Absolutely. So if people want to see more of your work, where can they go?
mcontemporary.com and also my own website, RashaunRucker.com. But mcontemporary is probably the most up to date, where you get news and you can view work and you can view work from other amazing artists in Detroit.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you all so much for joining me today. Have a wonderful, happy, safe Easter weekend, and I will see you all soon. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter at The Warreness, and also visit thewarreness.com to subscribe to my newsletter. All right, everyone, have a wonderful day. See you soon. Bye. Bye.